Hello everyone. Uh, Good evening. Happy to start this session. I appreciate you all joining for this today's discussion on romancing the data. Basically, in this session, I will be discussing some of the interesting case studies on how data science, as a subject is shaping the business world, and how there are so much of opportunities for students who are planning to pursue their MBA or PGDM or any post graduation for that matter. I really appreciate you all joining this session today with me. Would love to discuss a lot of interesting stuff. So let me begin my presentation with a simple session outline, in the sense what are some of the things that are take-home points for you all today, and how we can get benefited from this session. So the session outline is like this. The first point that I'll be focusing on is with a lot of case studies on how data science is changing the business world. Of course, it is changing the entire world, but today's presentation I'll be focusing more on how it is changing the way companies do business. And then why should you consider data science as a career? So that will be my second point on which I'll discuss few things. The third thing is to let us try understand how data science and how is the job market for somebody who thinks he or she should consider a career in data science. Now, along with that, I'll also discuss some of the key skills that the companies look for when they hire freshers. So, in the sense you have finished your post graduation in data science, maybe a MBA or PGDM, what are some of the things that students need to know that companies would look for? So, that I'll be discussing in detail. And then some features of MBA and PGDM data science, what to focus on, what are the certain things that you should be learning. So all these things I'll be discussing with you all today. Happy to take all the questions and discuss more in detail with you. So because I've titled this webinar saying romancing the data, I wanted to start something with something related to romance, love, and breakup, right? So the other day I was just reading a case study where I was researching on how Facebook can predict a lot of things about your love and breakup. Okay, so let me discuss that now. Uh, we all use Facebook. A lot of companies use Facebook. We use Facebook for various purposes. But what Facebook has done is it has got something called as text analytics. So what is basically a text analytics? Suppose let us say you do a status update. Suppose let us say you just mention, "Oops, it's raining again," or you may sometimes mention, "Can't wait to meet you," right? So what Facebook basically does is it understands and it compares these two phrases of your status update, and it makes its own analysis, right? So effectively Facebook can read your mind. It can understand what you're trying to do. It can understand whether you are in love with someone, or it can understand whether you are breaking up. It can understand lot many things because they have an engine called text analytics. Text analytics is basically a tool in data science where you analyze the text and figure out what is happening. So Facebook is effectively using that. Interestingly, Facebook can also predict the age of your future lovebird, right? If it can understand whether with whom, at what age group you can fall in love, what could be his age. It has got all the data. It can analyze all this data and come to a conclusion and use it effectively. uh, this one is sad, but still it can also estimate when you may fall in love and how much duration you may on an average can continue in that relationship, and when you may break up. These are too much of snooping on personal life, but it is happening, right? Facebook is doing this. uh, it also predicts, right? If somebody if a pair or a couple has met online, and Facebook definitely knows, it can estimate or predict rather your probable month of actually meeting your lovebird. So it can do that effectively. And there are many more things which Facebook uses. Basically what I'm trying to say here is Facebook captures all this data, the activities that are happening on your Facebook, and they have a set of data science algorithms which can analyze these things, and it can effectively conclude certain things. And they also have lot of they leverage on this data for various other business growth. So yeah, this is the thing now. Can Facebook or Alexa really predict love and breakups? Possibly, yes. Uh, if you see this chart, you'll understand. This is the chart released by Facebook. So it starts with Valentine's Day. The status update messages go up, and there are certain status updates which indicate that you are getting into a relationship. So it peaks out as and when the Valentine's Day comes close by, it goes up and then it falls. There is a pattern, in and around April Fool's Day. Lot of things, there is a pattern. There is a pattern detection. Facebook can understand what is happening with your personal life. All this is happening because of data science, right? So this is something which I wanted to share with you all. Now another application of data science, I just want you all to watch this short video, and then we see how it goes.
The future of driving. Nothing to be afraid of. Because we're working on safer cars for a safer tomorrow. With large-scale data-driven development. At the BMW Autonomous Driving Campus.
Okay, that was interesting, is it not? So if we were to discuss what are some of the key learnings from this BMW's driverless car advertisement, so these are some of the things which we should understand. Future BMW cars, not only BMW, Tesla has already done this. Future BMW cars will be data driven, right? The decisions are driven using data. And we also consider that data is new oil. You all know, why Facebook has invested in Geo. It was in the recent times, and the primary reason why they invested is the amount of data that Facebook can leverage on using Geo's network. Of course, analytics will going forward change the way business managers think and take decisions. Earlier, the decisions were made based on either intuition or experience. Now that is gone. Gone are those days. Now decisions are basically data driven, right? Companies are more keen on this. It also means for you as a student, there is a huge demand for people with data science skills, right? So now let us understand, okay, if data science is so much important, then exactly what is data science? Let us move forward and understand that part. Put in very simpler terms, data science is a combination of or leveraging or use of data, right? It could be customer data, it could be any kind of data. We use data, and then we adopt information technology and analytical techniques. So basically data science is a combination of data, the information technology, analytical techniques. Now once we combine these three, you get the complete power and insights into businesses, which I believe always helps you make fact-based decisions to increase the revenue of your company, right? Please understand, or you may recall, Every company, the sole objective is to enhance profits, is it not? So data science exactly does that. It helps companies increase profits. Now, business analytics, sometimes you may say, see data science, and sometimes you may see business analytics. There's no much confusion there. Business analytics is simply a subset of data science. Data science is a very broad area. Data science can be used, is used in fact in pharmacy, it is used in engineering, it is used in space technology, it is used in many areas of field. But when you apply that specifically to solve business problems, we refer it to as business analytics. Okay. Now, as I was mentioning, how do companies take decision, or to be more precise, how were companies, taking decisions in the earlier time, right? Until then, until data science came, how were they making decisions? We call this as hippo, right? What do I mean by hippo is highest paid person's opinion. It means in corporate parlance, suppose let us say you are in a brainstorming session, or you are in a serious meeting. Generally, it so happens that the person who has got highest, whose salary is very high, uh, his opinion is taken very seriously, right? And nobody really tries to argue with him, or nobody really tries to say it doesn't make sense. Simply because, one, he is at a position where he is very powerful, and because he is powerful, he also gets paid heavily. So it means many a time this is a bias. It means that his opinion should be right. So these opinions are basically formed by intuition, by experience. But every day the businesses change, technology changes, right? So whatever experience I had in the last 10 years may not be useful tomorrow, because things would have changed. So you as a student, you have this opportunity to study the hippo effect. We call it hippo effect. And shift to, from hippo effect, shift to data driven approach, right? So the chances of you making mistakes will be less when you go by, when you use data for your decisions. Edwards Deming famously said, this is my favorite quote, where he says, "In God we trust, all others must bring data." Right? So, so he primarily says that data is critical for any major decisions. Now, coming to some of the applications, or case studies, rather, I would call. Let us discuss few of them. Netflix. There were a lot of companies which were into movie renting, but all of them died. Only Netflix survived. Not only did Netflix survive, but it is also on the fastest growth rate. Why is that so? Because they understood, they have banked heavily on data science, right, for their business. So basically, what they do is they analyze the movie watching pattern of people, which movies somebody may like, why do they like, what time of the day they watch, do they like rom-com, do they like thriller horror movies. They go by this data set, they analyze data, and what they do is they give the insights to a lot of movie makers and say, this is what will click. If you can create a movie like this, fantastic. Amazon does use data heavily. In my next slide, I'll be discussing a very interesting case with you. Spotify, what it basically does is it compares your favorite songs. It asks you to create an album. When you create album, it compares your album to somebody else's album and says what is common between these two people, and which song do they like in common, or which song do they hate in common. That gives them a lot of inputs, right? Zomato users, you have already seen BMW, the driverless car advertisement I've shown. ESPN uses data science very in a very interesting way. So let me now, these are some of the applications. Now quickly go to one important case study, the way Amazon uses data science. Let us for a second relax and recall how exactly we shop online. Suppose, let us say, you wanted to buy a mobile phone, right? How do you do that? How do you buy a mobile phone on Amazon? You follow a very simple approach. What you do is you sign up. If you haven't signed up, you will sign up on Amazon. You browse the product, you do a lot of research here, and you basically compare the features and price of different mobile phones, and you select your favorite, or your whatever based on your liking. You will select your phone, and then you add it to cart, make payment. What happens after you make payment is you are curiously waiting for 2-3 days, and after 2-3 days the product comes to your doorstep, you take delivery, right? So this is the approach that we all use currently in on while we shop on Amazon. This is the existing approach. This is Amazon calls it as shop and ship model. It means you do the shopping on their website and they ship the model, right? So this is the current approach. Now, what Amazon wants to do it is they are trying to figure out a altogether very interesting new approach where they send the product to your house. They deliver the product, and you know what? They deliver even if you have not booked the product. And what they do is they say, if you like it, please keep it. If you don't like it, return it back. This model they are referring to as ship and shop model. They want to flip the existing model and come out with an altogether new model. Now, how do they do this? They do this with their predictive models. They have something called as predictive modeling, predictive analytics, right? So in this predictive analytics, let me explain how it works. They have in the predictive model analyzes your past buying behavior. So does it does of large customers, right? This age group in this part of the city, these people like this kind of product. They do shopping on this time of the day. They do more shopping weekend. They generally like blue color things. These are some of the data sets which Amazon has. Now what they do is, using this data, they predict, okay, Mr. Ramesh wants 3 kgs of rice this week, and he's also planning to buy some body lotion, and he's also planning to buy maybe a perfume or deo, whatever it is. So they once they figure out this, what they do is they send a package to your house. And remember, you did not book all these products. The package has arrived and you are surprised, and when you open it, you love it. The another biggest thing is, they would have delivered these products with a fantastic best price, right? And when it is given to you at a very good price, there are high chances that you will keep those products. And then if you do not like something, you're always free to return it back. Return pickup truck comes every week to your area, and they go house to house, and they say, if you don't like something, please return it back. Now this is where the game is. If people start keeping all the products, may not be all of them, most of them products, if they start keeping with them, then it means Amazon would have doubled their sales. They would have doubled their revenue, right? Now this is not a concept or idea that Amazon is working on. In fact, they did this, they tested this in in the United States, and they claim that they are very much successful. So they use predictive models to change the entire business and revenue model. So this is one case. Now I would like to move on to the another case study, where I would like to show you how Amazon as a platform is using data science. If you carefully analyze this, it talks about somebody purchasing Apple Mac, they would like to buy. But carefully note that this platform, that is Amazon, knows which is your bank account, right? They knows you frequently bank with HDFC because you have supplied this data. uh, yes, you have supplied this data, but they are masters in leveraging this data to increase revenue. So this everybody knows. If you buy something and they may offer, they may say you may also need this, and they may call it customers who bought this item also bought following things. This is okay, but what we technically call these two is, we call this as collaborative filtering, right? This process or this technique which Amazon adopts is called collaborative filtering. What it basically does is, it will analyze your buying behavior in the past, and it will use that data points to predict your future buying behavior. That is what exactly Amazon is doing currently. A few more quick case studies. What if tomorrow you are able to predict. Let us say you are working as a manager in one of the automobile giant, and what if you wish to predict which color car a customer may like even before somebody speak to him in your showroom, right? Imagine a customer is walking into your showroom, in the car showroom, and before you speak to him, you know that this guy likes red color car. uh, it helps them a lot because they could take him to the red color car. They could pitch most of the red color cars. They can adjust their pricing for red color cars. They can do a lot of things because preemptively they have understood that this customer likes something in red. Okay. This is a common problem with all, especially Indians. What we basically do is we are more interested in window shopping. Many a times we may not like buying something, but we just get into a shop, or we get into a mall and we keep checking things as if we are very much interested to buy. That is fun for us, but what happens to the store, or what happens to the companies which are into this business? They have to invest a lot of time and money on all the customers who walk into the store, right? And that is a big challenge for them. So companies are trying to understand whether a customer who is walking in, is he a genuine customer or is somebody who is just window shopping. If they can crack that, it means they can realign themselves and they can refocus on those customers whom they think will really make a purchase. Yeah, this is also going on. One of the famous bank, it has already done this. They wanted to understand, primarily what they did is they wanted to figure out, okay, so many customers walk into the bank branch every day. How do I know which customer is very rich? If there are 200 people walking into my branch, how will I know this guy is really rich? And how will I identify him and take him to my cabin, offer him coffee, tea, or juice? So I give him this special treatment. So what they basically did is they have embedded a chip in the debit or credit card, and when this customer walks into the bank's branch, there is a sensor near the door of the bank, and then it picks up the signal. It sends a message to the branch manager, and he will immediately know that on his mobile phone, it may flash his photo and the account details. So he goes in person, meets and greets this rich guy, takes him into his cabin and treats him well. So this is what data science is capable of doing. There is another interesting case where we say how many HR, how many employees may quit if you plan to introduce a new HR policy. In fact, one of the company in Bangalore, they wanted to try this, and they are experimenting and try to understand when employee may quit. So if you know well in advance when an employee may quit, you can prepare yourself. You can hire new people so that you make sure that the project which is ongoing is not disturbed. This is a very common one, but let me just tell you, companies are interested to find out how many more number of clicks is required to increase 5% sales, right? So all these case studies that I have discussed with you till now tells us only one thing. It is data, right? So data drives the businesses these days. You might have heard this. The one of the globally acclaimed B school, one of the top B school in the world. They said data science or data scientist is the sexiest job of the century. So this is what they have to say. Now, another area where data science is getting a lot of attention and where you have a lot of job opportunities and career opportunities is that in the area of sports, especially in the game of cricketing. All these companies which I've mentioned on the screen, they are looking for people with data science skills, right? My request to all of you is go to their website, and in their career section, they would have mentioned that they are hiring for data scientists. So cricket as a game, is now using data science to analyze player performance. You might have seen this, during the IPL. How do we analyze players' performance, and how do we predict players' performance? That is very interesting. That has got huge potential now, simply because all these IPL teams would like to know in detail, or would like to have a forecast or predicted performance rather, to understand whether we need to invest on this particular player, or should I combine my investment not only with him or somebody else. They basically need a lot of insights before they bet on some players. So data science is helping that way. In fact, ESPN very recently wanted to hire somebody with data science. You may recall and you may appreciate that earlier days our parents would say, don't spend too much time playing cricket. But now, if you are somebody who understands cricket very well, the cricket as a game, if you understand it in detail, and if you are a student who understands data science, so you club your cricketing knowledge with data science skills, you have a great career option, right? So cricket analytics is something very interesting, and I believe a lot of you should consider very seriously. Okay, those are some of the case studies that I have discussed. Now let me also help you understand. Suppose, let us say, if you have finished your data science program, or if you have done your MBA or PGDM or any masters in data science, what are some of the key skills that companies look for when they hire students? A lot of companies visited Acharya campus in the recent past, and during my interaction with most of them, one thing is, what I have understood is, all these companies look for students with key skills. They don't care whether you how much knowledge you have. Yes, knowledge is very much important, but what they say is, their point of view is, knowledge can be acquired by doing some online courses, or by kind of browsing on the net, reading some articles. But they seriously look for students with critical skill sets. Now these are the critical skill sets: understanding of business and revenue models. You have to understand the company's business in detail. So that is the foremost or most important skill that you should have as a student. Data wrangling skills. Data wrangling means data structuring. If you have 100 customers, and if those 100 customers have transacted with your company, how do you structure this data, right? So that is called data wrangling. It also involves cleaning up the data, right? When you collect the data, generally the data is not very clean. So data wrangling involves cleaning up the data and making sure it is ready to use. The another is data pattern detection, right? So in my previous slide, where I was showing you the graph generated by Facebook, that is a simple example of detecting any patterns, right? So why does status update go up? What are some of the status update with positive emotions? What are some of the status updates with negative emotions? This is called detecting a pattern. Basically, if you start your career as a data scientist, what you basically do is you try to figure out if there are any patterns in the data set. So that is your primary job. uh, Artificial intelligence and machine learning is a fantastic skill. It's a great skill, highly valued in today's job market. So if you can acquire this skill, you have a great career ahead. Descriptive analytics is, simply put, describing the data, right? How you describe the data, how you set the structure for the data. What was the past? How did the historical data was structured? What insights it can give us? So this is about descriptive analytics. It's a very important skill. Now, predictive modeling, as I have shown you in the previous slide, how Amazon uses predictive modeling to send you a package for delivery of those goods which you have never booked on their website, right? So that is called predictive analytics. Prescriptive analytics is something where you prescribe, or you say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 points the company should follow in order to maximize their customer engagement or maximize the profits. Some of the tools which you as a data scientist, if you are pursuing that career, should have is a very good basic understanding of Excel functions, right? Excel, when I say not basic Excel, advanced Excel, you have to be a master in using the Excel. And then you should be really good at Python, R programming, SAS, and Tabule. These are some of the most valued skills which companies look for and test you before they hire. So you have to learn these skills if you are somebody who is very much interested in data science as a career. Now, in terms of your job market, which are the companies which are currently hiring for data science? Most of the companies are looking for students with good data science skills. This is a very short list here. You can, but I've just selected these companies based on their recent online activity in terms of hiring. But these are some of the companies which are aggressively looking for students with data science skills, and these are few more companies. I've tried to mention some of the Indian companies. So these are, Byju's is, very aggressively looking for students with data science skills. So let us move on. Coming to the job market, if I'm not wrong, every year close to 3 to 5 lakh students pass, or close their, finish their PGDM or MBA. So out of 5 lakh students, how many are really employable? That is a big challenge, right? If 5 lakh students come out of their master's degree, the opportunities are very high, but the question is how many of the students have really good data science skills? That number sadly is very less. So you have to figure out how you will scale up your skills, and how you will make sure that you are one of those student who has all the skill sets, and you are that student who will get hired very quickly. Now, 40% CAGR report says the data science market is growing on an average 40% CAGR. It means the growth is very, very fast. There's a high chance that your career growth will also be amazing. Wide cross-sectional opportunities, in the sense they want people with different backgrounds to join their company and then analyze the data, because when you hire people from different walks of life, basically your insights get richer and richer. So that is what they look for. It's not always like a computer science student gets hired after he does his masters in data science. No, that is a wrong understanding. They would look for anybody with different background, but a very good understanding and skill sets in data science. They would definitely consider you hiring. Another very important point here I must highlight is the unconventional hiring methods. Me as a B school professor, what I have seen in the last 3-4 years, earlier we used to have elaborated written test, group discussion, and then companies used to filter students. Now companies are not doing that. What they do is they give you a project, they ask you, they give you a data set, they say, okay, work on this data set, submit your report. If we like you, we hire you. That's it, right? So that is a great opportunity. It also means that you have to tune yourself in making sure that you have those skill sets and you are ready for the game. The salary packages are very good, fantastic salary package. It ranges from 6 lakhs to 10 lakhs, but let me caution you, companies are ready to pay, but they also are very careful in figuring out if the candidate has all the skill sets that they would look for. Cross combinations like a BE student with PGDM or a BCom student with MBA, it all works fine. As I said earlier, they look for people with different walks of life. Now, in the previous slide, I discussed job market with some of the statistics or numerical evidence, but we don't need numerical evidence to say the data science job is data science as a industry is growing. Here is another example. So this is a simple toothbrush, right? We all use it every day, but recently Oral-B launched a toothbrush with artificial intelligence capabilities. I was surprised. I was kind of thrilled to see this. What basically, I mean, this is available now. You could really buy this on Amazon. I think post COVID they'll be able to deliver. But when I was researching on this in the month of January, this is available on Amazon for you to buy. What this basically does is, it is a toothbrush which has sensors, and it can collect a lot of data about your brushing habits, how much stress you put, what time of the day you brush, which part of your dentistry you focus more. It captures a lot of data set, and it sends a report on your app. On your mobile phone, they ask you to download a simple app, and every month they send a report which indicates if at all you have any problem and if you have to visit a doctor. Now, my point here is, if data science has come to our life through, it has reached a level where even toothbrush will have something sensors and data science. You imagine going forward, everything will be AI driven, and that means the future jobs will be completely related to AI. Now, it also means we have to understand that if we are ready for that, we need to make sure that our careers are foolproof, right? Now, these are some of the things which I have discussed about data science. Let me also give you a quick, overview on who we are. We are Acharya School of Management. It offers 2-year full-time PGDM program. Basically, it is a 2-year, 7 trimester program. We offer programs in data science. We have PGDM in data science, which focuses heavily on teaching you on all the skills. It's a 2-year complete program, which will prepare you for the data science roles of the future. This is a AICT approved program, which is very much important. The program has 2 international exchange programs. Curriculum is updated every trimester. Every 3 months, we have this opportunity to change our change our curriculum, because we have to make sure that what we teach you is something which is highly updated and is something which is demanded in the industry. Your performance is always evaluated based on the GPA, that is CGPA. It means the focus is to make sure that we prepare you in terms of an all-round becoming an all-rounder, not purely on your academics. So these are some of the things about Acharya School of Management. In terms of our teaching learning process, you have wide variety of options. Storytelling. Recently, I did a session where I taught them, my students, on storytelling with data. How you use data to tell a story to your customer. So there are MOOC options, there are boot camp. We put you in lab and we teach you a lot of software platforms, assignments, case studies, mini research projects, peer learning. These are some of the most important components which we practice in our B school. Coming to the international collaborations, what we basically do is, Acharya has tied up with more than 23 universities across the globe, and this helps us because we send students abroad. Some of the foreign students come here because Acharya has close to people from 72 countries visit our campus for their education. They come here, they pursue different courses. So what we do basically is, from Acharya School of Management, we send the MBA and PGDM students to go abroad, study there. We have 2 different programs. The first one is called International Immersion Program, and the second one is Erasmus Mundus Scholarship, where you get scholarship to study abroad for a period of 6 months. Right. In terms of course coverage, if I have to say, we have something called as cricket or sports analytics. Please, you may recall that I have explained to you how cricket as a game is leveraging heavily on data science. So what we basically did is, we have incorporated that component in our classroom delivery. A lot of students, they like marketing. Teaching marketing is one thing, but we also teach marketing analytics, because going forward, we know just studying marketing as a theory won't help. So you should know marketing analytics. So the faculty team at Acharya School of Management has come out with this course, a very interesting course called Marketing Analytics. We have HR Analytics, also called as People Analytics, where we teach how companies use employee data to grow their business, right? And how HRs take decision using this data. So there are a lot of interesting courses that we teach. We teach artificial intelligence and machine learning for business. There are a few courses which we plan to incorporate. So one of those is fintech, right? So we all use Paytm, we all use PhonePe. So these are some of the fintech companies which are using data to build their businesses. So we are planning to incorporate that subject in our curriculum. So these are some of the new generation courses that we at Acharya School of Management have started teaching to our students so that they all get very good jobs, their dream jobs in future. In terms of tools, if you ask me, these are some of the tools which are covered as part of your syllabus. I mean, for those students who take data science as a specialization. Uh, Starting from Python, we focus on advanced Excel, R programming, IBM Watson, Tabulae, TensorFlow. These are some of the tools which are highly demanded in the industry, and we train you on these platforms. Another advantage is we have two programs under Acharya School of Management. The first program is called PGDM Data Science for regular students. In the sense, somebody without a corporate experience, the student may join that program, and that the program has its own unique design to make sure that you acquire the basics and then get acquainted with business terminologies, jargons, and business models. That is for the freshers. That is for somebody who has just finished their graduation and those who want to join data science as a platform. There is another program which we run, and this program is primarily targeting towards people with corporate experience. Suppose, let us say, somebody has 15 years of corporate experience. We have a program for them, and that is called Executive PGDM. What we basically do is we teach these corporate executives a lot of interesting things on data science, because they are already in the data science area and they would like to upskill their skill levels. So why am I mentioning that here is simply because you as a student, you get to interact with corporate executives who are your classmates, right? Very rarely you get this kind of opportunity where your batchmate or somebody who studies with you is coming from Microsoft, right? I have students coming in from Microsoft, Samsung, Goldman Sachs, Capgemini, Harman Kardon, right? So if you are somebody who is um, very serious about your career, build rapport with these corporate students, that will be a great learning for you. So that is another advantage with Acharya School of Management. I kind of take a short break here. I would love to answer any questions or queries you have. Happy to answer. Okay, there is this first question. How does big data fit in our culture? Uh, I I don't know what exactly you mean when you say culture, but let me try answering it like this. It is not about culture as such, because end of the day it is business. Companies want to understand customers better, so they want to know what type of products a customer may like, what pricing is okay for him. So it is basically to understand customer perception. But if you talk about big data is huge amount of data which is organized in one place, right? Whether it can be data related to climatic conditions, it can be data related to disease like the ongoing corona now. It could be anything. So big data, yes, it is very much important. It helps you come out with innovative solutions. It also helps you solve problems. So this is my take on your question. Which departments should be in? The question is which departments should be involved. uh, Again, I'm not very clear on this, but I'll make an assumption in understanding this question. When you say which department, I'm thinking you're asking in terms of departments in an organization, all the departments, right? The marketing, I explained how Amazon is using data science to improve their businesses. HR analytics, that is people analytics, where they try to find out which employee will perform better. There is something called as predicting employees' performance. So HR as a department, they use data science to effectively use their use their talent and grow their talent. Operations, there is something called as operations analytics, right? In fact, there was a topic taught by one of my colleague in at Acharya. This is called operations analytics. How you use data science to improve operations of a company. There is something called as supply chain analytics. So what I can conclude here is that all the departments in a company, they are heavily dependent on data science. So data science as a tool caters to all the departments in helping them take better business decisions. How much time does it take to implement a big data project? All right, this is a interesting question, a technical question. It depends. I cannot give you a time frame on how much time it may take to implement a data science project, because it depends on your data size, it depends on your key requirements, it depends on the kind of outlook that you are trying to have, in the sense what is that you are trying to achieve by implementing a big data project. So it depends on different parameters and factors. We cannot simply say that it will take this much time. It all depends on various critical factors. Okay, I love this question. Is it not that we are playing with the piracy of customer in future? Let me read that questions. Okay, one second. So basically, I think this question is, I'll just rephrase this question. It is the question is about the concerns of piracy, right? When you say companies are using your data set, what happens to my privacy? Of course, yes, I agree. That's a wonderful question. Privacy is a big challenge. Your data is the company captures your data, but the question here is, can we stop it? Can we really stop it? Is the question, because the moment you put something on Facebook, it means you are allowing everybody to look at your profile. You are allowing the whole world to find out who you are. uh, Likewise, when you go for shopping, the moment you stand in the billing counter and you give your phone number, or when the company understands that you purchased 2 kgs of rice and the various other grocery items, it means they know you, more about you as a person, right? And you also share your when you swipe your debit or credit card, they would have captured your bank details. So the question here is, yes, sometimes, as you have rightly mentioned, uh, data piracy, privacy is a big challenge. Data theft is a challenge, but I would like to think, in the sense, is it really possible for us to stop it? And I don't think so. But yes, if you ask me, is it always ethical? May not be, but it is a big challenge. Data privacy is a big challenge. Okay. Uh, Once again, a fantastic question. Are data scientists required in government jobs also? Of course, yes. The very interesting case that we have currently is the government of India calling in all the, lot of people who have data science skills. You might have seen the recent advertisement released by government of India, where they are trying to hire students from top B schools, or any other B school for that matter, where they say, if you can analyze the coronavirus, some pattern or data sets of patients, and if you can find out different solutions, the government is welcoming you to work with them. So it means the government, not only with for corona, I'm saying, the government has a lot of projects where they need people to analyze data. Data scientist, basically his job is to analyze the data and find out critical inputs, be it business related data or be it any other data, right? So data scientists are required in every area possible, right? There's no limited scope where you say only in these areas we require data science. No. COVID is a great example, as I said. So we need data scientists across all verticals. Okay, yet again a very good question. Regression analysis, can it be able to predict the data? Yes, regression as a concept is for predicting certain things. But the thing is, it is not only the regression analysis. There are many versions of regression analysis. There is something called as logistics regression. There's a simple linear regression. There are various different types of regressions where we use to predict data. But let me tell you, the regression analysis is a good old concept, always used earlier. And with current tools and technological platforms, we have got more power to use regression analysis. But there is something more interesting now these days. Neural network is one such thing where people are heavily banking on. We have artificial intelligence, we have machine learning. Though these new platforms also, borrow from different old concepts like regression, but these are some of the more new ways of predicting things. So my answer is yes. Regression analysis is primarily done to predict certain things, but there are new tools, new methods that we should be aware, because regression alone won't help. How is, okay, next question is, how is big data analysis helpful in increasing business revenue? Fair enough. So as you can recall, I did explain some of the case studies initially in my presentation. I explained to you how Amazon is using data to predict what people may buy in the future. I also helped you, I also demonstrated how Spotify as a company is using data to improve their business, their revenue. So likewise, you have, BMW also we discussed as a case. There are a lot of options, lot of methods where you can use big data to increase revenue of a company. Now, if you ask me how exactly we do, that is something which requires a lot of research, in-depth the understanding and discussion of the current business problem. You need to understand what is the problem that the company is facing, or what is the pain point that a company is trying to address. For example, let me give you a very quick example. Insurance companies are now trying to understand how they can change the premium price, that is the premium charges that they charge, and how they can change it on the driving behavior of customers. Suppose, let us say you want to buy car insurance. So you and I both go to insurance company, and the premium rates may be different for me, the premium rates may be different for you. In the sense, if I am a bad driver, I'll have to pay more, and if you are a good driver, you will pay less. So this is how insurance is using. You will see this very soon, maybe in the next year or a couple of years. In the next few years, you will see insurance companies using data science to adjust their premium. So that is how you leverage data science to increase your revenue. The next question is, kindly explain about Hadoop skills required in data science. I don't think I am the right person to, and I'm not qualified to explain to you on how Hadoop as a skill helps in data science. Simply because we are from School of Management. We don't come from typical engineering or computer science department. But let me tell you, this skill is most valued in the industry. It is always used in blend with a lot of other data science tools, but there are experts in my team who can help you learn Hadoop as a platform, and how that can be leveraged to businesses is something which the management professors will help you in understanding. Okay, you may continue asking questions, but I also have few questions to ask you. I just thought, you can take these questions to home. I mean, for think about it, research about it, and then find out answers to these interesting questions. The first question that I want you to research on is why did, I mean, Zomato recently advertised on some of the porn websites. That was very surprising to me. It was very shocking. I didn't initially understand why they are doing it, but this was again a data-driven decision. So if you can research and understand why Zomato is advertising on porn websites, I think that will be interesting for you to get more understanding about data science. The next question that I would want you to research on is very recently Nike announced that they will not sell their products or shoes on Amazon. Uh, I suggest you do research and understand why Nike took the decision of detaching themselves from Amazon. The third question I would like to offer to you is again, Burger King, which is a heavy competitor for McDonald's. They made a statement and they said that they have decided not to compete with McDonald's. Why did they do so? Why did they decide so? So these are three questions which I wanted to ask you as a B school professor. Now, if in case you figure out the answer, and if you want to share those answers with me, you're most welcome to write to me at on my email vikram, that is Vikram AG at acharya.ac.in. You may answer, you may share your answers with me, and I'm happy to discuss with you. So there's one more question, I believe. Let me take that question. I have experienced in experimental analysis. Which field can get jobs? Okay, this is fantastic. I mean, if you already have some experience in this area, trust me when I say this, sky is the limit. You can get into any vertical and you can build your career. It's not limited to any particular field because this is used in most of the industries. So I'm happy if you already have this experience. All you need to do is brush up your skills, get a solid post graduation degree, and then you're ready to go. So that is my answer. And there is one more question. The question says, tell us how big data and Hadoop are related to each other. uh, okay, that is one question. I have few more questions coming. Okay, let me answer the previous question first. How big data and Hadoop are related to each other? Hadoop is, if I am not wrong, as I said earlier, I am not qualified to answer this, but let me make an attempt. Hadoop is basically a platform which will enable you to leverage on the vast data set that you collect, right? It is more of structuring the data set. So big data, on the other hand, is a concept of having huge data in one place. So that is how these two are interlinked. And taking your question slightly further, the next thing is, how do you use data science tools and techniques to bring out the hidden insights that are there in the big data set. So that is where all these three come into a picture. But if you want me to help you in terms of more details on Hadoop, I suggest you please write to me so that I can connect you to the right person, and he may be able to answer if there are any technical questions related to Hadoop. The next question I have here is, what skills should I have as an ideal student set before joining a program involving data science? Okay, you need not have any previous skill set experience before you join any programs at Acharya School of Management, specifically in data science. What we do is, we know that you come from different backgrounds. Somebody may be from engineering background, somebody may be from BB or BCom background. You may come from different graduation as your background. What we do is, we start training you on basics of businesses first. We start with orientation program, and then we start cover all the basics of marketing, basics of finance, basics of HR. Why we do this is because we want to make sure that you have solid grounding on key aspects of businesses. Once that is done, next what we do is, we start training you on those critical skill sets. So there's no need for you to worry that about, worry saying I have to have these things before I start the program. Absolutely not. So we help you prepare for that, and we make sure that you get into those dream jobs into data science. The next question is, if we are having background in commerce, then how can we learn Python and many more technical things? Fantastic question. A lot of my students come from commerce graduation, commerce or management. Not only in our B school, many B school students are they come from engineering, they come from BCom, BBA, as I mentioned earlier. But that is, if you ask me, Python is something which is more or less like a, the kind of the language we use. It's like spoken English. So you need not worry more about Python. One thing you have to understand that is Python is not something like C or C++ or Java, which is very much more complicated. No, Python is very easy. Anybody can learn Python. So I could say if I have learned Python over a period of time, anybody can learn Python, right? It is basically just a practice. And more importantly, let me tell you this: Python anybody can learn. That is okay. But how many of us, or how many of the students who are looking for a job uh, are good in Python and are also good in analyzing businesses? That is what exactly matters. One side, your skills like advanced Excel, Python, that is very much important. On the other side, you should also have, I'm sorry, you should also have your, the ability or skill to analyze businesses is what is valued more. Otherwise, anybody can learn Python and then they may be good in coding, but being good in coding alone doesn't help. You need to have a business background. You need to know how to analyze businesses. So don't worry about Python thinking, I come from commerce background. Python is very easy. You can learn. You need to practice. That is it. Okay, the next question is, will companies which fall on mature side of business life cycle, which has huge cash reserves, use business analytics intensively on their products, just as in case of Oral-B, that than sustaining in market uh, with new innovation or no innovation? I don't know. So basically, let me summarize this question. Fantastic question, I must say. The question here is, companies which are very big in size, do they also, which also, the question says which has huge cash reserves, do they also use business analytics intensively on their product, or how it is? The question also refers to the example that I gave of Oral-B. Yes, the good thing about data science is companies like startups, right? Very small, new companies, they are heavily dependent on data science, in the sense they leverage data to build their businesses. On the other hand, uh, big companies, large companies are now shifting to data-driven business decisions, right? You can take example of any big company: Amazon, HUL, Hindustan Unilever Limited, P&G, MRF. All these companies are using data to take business decisions. And simply put, it means you want to know more about your customers. You want to understand your employees better. So it means you will use data science. So size of the company, or how old the company, or how big the company is, doesn't matter. As long as companies want to grow, they will leverage heavily on data science. I hope I have answered that question. Okay, the next question is, SPSS version, can it be useful? Uh, if you ask me, let me be very honest. Both yes and no. SPSS is a great tool, but this is slightly on the academic side, right? Most of the academicians use SPSS. It's a good tool, no doubt, but companies don't use it very frequently as they use Python. For the simple reason is, the capability of Python is much more stronger and bigger. Python as a platform is very powerful, and the beauty of Python is it is completely free. You need not pay. Anybody can download, and anybody who can practice for 1 week, 10 days, you can start using Python and you can analyze data sets. You can't do the same thing with SPSS. SPSS, you need to buy a license. Another problem with SPSS is it is menu driven. It means there are certain set of actions. Only those set of things you can do it in SPSS, right? Everything is menu driven. On the other hand, Python or any other platform like R programming, it gives you a huge power. It is open. It is flexible. You can do anything with Python. So yes, it is useful to certain extent. Maybe academicians may still use, but corporates, in my experience, I may be wrong, but in my experience, I see they use a lot of other tools like Python, and there are various other platforms like Tabule. They focus more on those platforms. Okay, the next question: how do I know that data science is the career for me? Okay, fantastic question. I love to answer this. What we suggest students is, when you are thinking about taking data science as a career, uh, we uh, we request students to first, as a first step, we request them to do a bit of research, try and understand what is data science, why and how it is important, and then you decide whether you really like it. Okay, so that is the first step, that you do your homework. Now that is not enough. What you do next is you discuss with some of the people who are into data science, right? We keep having the counseling sessions where students call us with such type of questions, and we discuss with them, one on one. That is, we sit with them, and then we try to understand their background, their academic performance, their likes and dislikes, and based on that we suggest them, saying, this course is good for you, because data science is not the only program that is available. There are a lot of other options across the markets. So you should do your homework, speak to people who are into data science, somebody who is in industry, or you can also speak to some of our faculty team members who will help you understand whether you can take up data science as a program. But you need to do your homework. But having said that, let me tell you this: suppose, let us say, you are somebody who may not, who you think, or who you may not like data science as a career. But the thing is, whoever you are, tomorrow you want to become, want to get into marketing, or somebody wants to get into HR, operations, supply chain, all of you need to know basics of data science. Without that, companies may not hire you, because for companies, that is the future. You may not be try to be an expert in data science, but you need to know the basics of data science. So my request to all students who are trying to build their career in, somebody who wants to do MBA or PGDM, don't think that data science is not your cup of tea, so I'll not focus on it. No, because of, if all the companies are using it and they want to leverage it heavily for their future businesses, it means you should also know basics of data science. Okay, I think I've addressed most of the questions. I would like to thank each one of you for attending this session. If I wish you all the best. Thank you. If you have any queries, you can always write to me at vikramag@acharya.ac.in. Thank you. All the best.